Okay, welcome to part two of my four-part video series. And if you haven't watched video one yet, I would recommend you see it first. This whole thing will make a lot more sense to you if you do that. This whole series is about getting the corrupting influence of money out of our political system. And it's the single issue that trumps all other issues in our political process. Until we get this one fixed, it'll be difficult, if not impossible, for anything else to get settled. My solution involves having someone run for President of the United States under this single platform of getting the money out and getting 6 bills and 1 constitutional amendment passed. I'm going to go over with you those bills and that sort of thing here in a second. But it's not just that. It's him making a promise that he will do his dead level best to get these passed. I'll give more information on that later, but one of the things would be him promising that he will veto every bill that comes across his desk except for these, with no amendments or riders or earmarks attached to them. And also with the promise that he'll resign as soon as those are passed. The other part that is required is for you to vote for him. Now I want to go over those, the amendment and the bills. The amendment itself, the First Amendment, would be one that would reverse the ruling by the Supreme Court known as Citizens United. And this would make all political contributions for federal elections illegal, both direct, indirect, from individuals or corporations to either a politician or a campaign. Make them totally illegal, and the only way that it could be financed as part of this amendment is through a public financing program using vouchers. Basically, the way it works is this. For every registered voter, a certain department within the government issues a voucher or vouchers to you, allowing you to send those vouchers or voucher to the individuals whom you're trying to support. Those politicians then take those vouchers, turn them back to the Treasury. The Treasury cashes them in and uses it for their campaigns. There are more details on the site about this process, but basically it gives you the ability to decide who you want to support financially and not. You then have the controlling financial interest and not anyone else. It comes from your tax dollars. And this is where a lot of people will object and say, oh, that's too much. We can't afford to do that. Can you afford $2.50 a month? That's my calculation on the website about how much it would cost you in terms of taxes to be able to afford to do this. $30 a year from all the registered voters would support the same kind of level of political campaigning that we've had in the past. So think about that. Can you afford that? The first bill that I would try to pass is one that would implement as much of this amendment as could possibly be passed. Now, as long as this bill isn't contested by the Supreme Court, then we could implement it right away. As you may or may not know, the amendment process to the Constitution requires states to ratify that amendment, and that's a long drawn-out process. So in the meantime, Bill 1 would institute that as law prior to it being ratified. Bill 2 would be to give inspiration to the states to move the process along. Some states may try to drag out the process because there's going to be a lot of resistance to this idea. There's going to be a lot of people with money that will fight this tooth and nail. And so the states would probably be a place where they would mount an attack against it. So this would be a way to promote the states to get the bill ratified or in the ratification process. And for those that don't move the process along, punitive action would be taken. Bill 3 closes the revolving door between the regulated and the regulators. Right now, one of the biggest problems that we have, according to Jack Abramoff, isn't so much the Congress people as their staff. They're the people that write the bills to a large extent, and they, along with the congressperson, are most susceptible to the corrupting influence of money. And the way that works is this. Some individual or industry that has an interest in having a bill passed, they'll go to a staffer and get them to write this thing for their interest with the promise that, hey, once you're finished with your tenure here in the government, come to work for us. We have a job waiting for you and or your family, whatever. And that's a very alluring thing for people. So this bill then closes that door and makes it illegal for any government employee to go to work in an industry over which they had either regulatory control or voting interest. So this closes that door. Bill 4 requires all Congresspeople and their staff to live under the same rules and regulations that you and I do. How about if your congressperson had to live with the same retirement system, the same 401k, the same healthcare system as you and I have? Maybe that would change the way that they vote on bills. Bill 5 would require Congresspeople and all federal employees, for that matter, to put their investments into a blind trust while they're employed by the government. This would eliminate the insider trading that currently is perfectly legal. So that's another source of corruption. And lastly, Bill 6 is the way to hand the power back to the people by this president. It provides for a new election when this current president and his vice president resign. And once that happens, people can vote for whoever they want, and the corrupting influence of money will be out of the election process. There are more details on my website, www.markcubanforpresident.com, and that's the number 4, not F-O-R. Part 3 of this series will discuss how to inspire Congress to vote for something that would be against their own self-interest and other objections that people may have to this plan. So I invite you to watch it. And I also invite you, if you have the ability to do this, is to download this video and post it on your own YouTube site, because I'm not sure how long YouTube will keep this up. Thank you.